Another no-hitter. There's been so many no-hitters since 2019. We don't talk about 2015 and that rat that threw one, but Ronel Blanco last night in his 8th career start throws a no-hitter 5 days after making the opening day roster. And it was just, what a moment. What a moment. The offense went bananas last night. So many home runs. After all the bad things that we talked about yesterday that happened over the weekend, Paul, it's amazing how one game can just make everything feel so much better about the Houston Astros.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's what that offense is capable of on a maybe not nightly basis, but semi-regular basis. And Ronel Blanco, especially if that changeup that he was throwing so much, I'm not even sure you can call it a changeup anymore, with 7 strikeouts, and as you said, no hits. If Blanco can do that against a decent lineup in Toronto, maybe you do have an answer to your lack of starting pitching depth for the next couple of months until the reinforcements arrive.
I mean, he looked so different in yesterday's game. That changeup, Blum and TK were talking about a lot last night, how he had 1 strikeout last year on the changeup, and he was going to it constantly throughout the game. And his slider fastball changeup split was almost, at one point, it was like 38, 33, 25. That math's wrong. I know, I'm guessing. But he was so effective with the changeup. He totally looked like a different pitcher than the guy we saw in the past. And we knew that he had some electric stuff. There's a reason why they liked him.
I don't know if it was ever electric. Do you look at 94, 95 miles per hour, which is what they saw when they first saw him at 22 years old in the Dominican Republic.
The story's great.
They discovered him because they were at this same facility that then 15, 16-year-old Julio Rodriguez used. Mm-hmm. And they were like, wait, you could throw 95? And he said, yeah. And they asked him further, hey, why has no one signed you? And he said, well, when you're 19, they stop looking at you.
Which
My
is
God.
Crazy.
What, are baseball scouts Leonardo DiCaprio all of a sudden? I mean,
it's crazy.
There's a certain age where they don't even look at you anymore. But I never thought, Joe, his stuff was electric. I thought it was good enough to make do when people are injured. But all of a sudden, if you're relying on one pitch that much last night and it's that effective, I mean, there's something here, you would think, and maybe it's one start. But to do that against a Blue Jays team, it seems like he's made some significant improvements from last year to this year. And last year he had a stretch where he was surprisingly pretty good in a starting role.
It was a confidence boost in which it's like that's your middle relief answer at worst when everyone gets healthy. At a bare minimum, that looks like a guy that can be a middle relief answer for this team. Yeah. If not, just be your 5th man in the rotation until these guys start to come back. And I don't, if his changeup is really this good, he could even give you some uncomfortable conversations down the road, or bring back the 6-man rotation conversation. His stuff was really, really impressive last night. And for Joe Espada to now be the first, I love this stat, the first manager in Major League Baseball history to get their first win with a no-hitter. Like, that's why I love baseball, because only in baseball can things like this happen.
I bet he's also the first manager in Major League history to get his first win via a no-hitter after an 0-4 start.
Oh, definitely. Or just first win it. Like, I mean, everything was good about last night. And we were talking about this before the show. I didn't realize it was a no-hitter until the 7th inning, because I was on dad duty last night. My wife was at work.
Oh, I'm a dad. I'm going to shirk my responsibilities.
I was like, Astros on the computer, Baby Shark on the big TV, one of those nights.
Oh, boy, you had to watch Baby Shark?
For a little bit last night. We try to avoid it as much as possible.
My bad. I'm sorry.
He specifically asked for it last night.
I'm sorry for what I said.
Yeah,
I feel for you. That is a torture that should only be reserved for Guantanamo Bay.
Look, it's not a great life at times. I'll not lie. Like, there's definitely times where
just watch Bluey all the time.
He won't watch it.
He won't watch it.
He won't watch it.
Oh, he has no taste.
He has no taste.
Your son is just an absolute amateur when it comes to
I agree.
His selection in film and cinema. What an Amateur.
The only thing that is a positive from my son's television watching experience is he will sit and watch football games with me.
He will watch football, but not.
He won't watch baseball.
Not no hitters by Ronel Blanco.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for him.
It's not good enough.
Even for
him.
me, a non-baseball lover, that's good enough for me.
It's 100% good enough for everyone. But then the offense last night was the other story.
Oh my goodness,
Just hitting dingers left and right. Kyle Tucker, Yainer Diaz, Jeremy Pena. Sing it for me, Paul.
Jeremy Pena hit a home run for the first time since July 5th yesterday.
He looked so happy to hit that home run.
I love the silent treatment.
It's another great thing of baseball.
The back of that lineup, once again, 6 for 11. 2 doubles by Chas McCormick. And Jake Myers hit a single about as hard as you can hit a single off of the Crawford box wall.
Yeah.
So very, very impressive performance by the lineup. 2 home runs from Kyle Tucker is almost an afterthought because I know, Joe, a lot of people today are looking at, one, Yainer Diaz hitting 2 absolute bomb of home runs.
One.
The first one, holy crap.
It was way out of the zone.
So 2 home runs, and he calls a no-hitter for a guy who's making his 8th start ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big W for a lot of the anti-Dusty Baker people. It is a big W for a lot of the anti-Martin Maldonado people. I would say, well, maybe Maldonado would have caught a perfect game. You know, I mean, 2 walks to George Springer.
Yeah.
But even I have to bend the knee to the thought that, yeah, Dusty Baker was using Maldonado a little bit too much last year. I will say at the same time, because a lot of my pushback was in jest, mainly because I felt like some of the people with the just slander that they directed Dusty Baker's way, and sometimes Maldonado, though more understandable with Maldonado. I thought it was so over the top that somebody needed to at least say, let's slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
2 things can be true, though. 1, Yainer Diaz should have played last year a little bit more. 2, Yainer Diaz playing last year would not have won them the American League Championship Series against the Rangers had he played more.
Yeah.
Because he didn't hit very well in that series, and the Astros gave up so many runs the last couple of games. I don't know what Yainer Diaz was going to do on his own.
There is a good amount of revisionist history happening on Astros Twitter with Dusty Baker, Yainer Diaz, and Martin Maldonado.
I'm here for it, though. I enjoy the Civil War. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
You know, throw some gasoline on one side, throw some gasoline on the other, and sit back and watch the fireworks.
And here's the thing, too. Like the no-hitter thing, it's great that Yainer caught one. The Astros have had 6 since 2019. Martin only caught half of those. Martin caught the one on August 3rd. That was the Aaron Sanchez, Will Harris, Joe, you're not very funny, Biagini, Davinsky. And then Robinson Chirinos caught Justin Verlander that same year. Maldonado caught the first Javier in the regular season versus the Yankees. Christian Vasquez caught the next one in the World Series. Martin caught the Fromber one, and then Yainer caught this one. So it's a good balance.
Mostly Maldy.
3 is the record, I believe, for a catcher, at least in the recent history.
And Maldy then taught everything that he knows to Yainer Diaz.
Yeah, thank you, Dusty.
Thank you, Dusty.
Yeah, thank you, Dusty.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Dusty.
Oh, thank me. Oh.
What are we thinking, Sean?
I did nothing compared to all the hard work that Dusty.
But I'm thanking Sean for bringing up
for thanking Dusty.
For thanking Dusty, yes.
Nope.
Someone has to do it.
All those 30-year-old bloggers.
Oh, unbelievable.
Could never be me.
Could never be you.
Literally.
Well, you would never read a blog.
Because you're not 30. 5038, possible hot take. Yainer swings so much and walks so little, he will get 3,000 hits. Eric the driver.
Sure.
Eric, spicy.
I like it.
Spicy.
500 home runs.
How many catchers have 3,000 hits?
How many people have 3,000 hits?
Well, yeah, but especially catcher. I get that he swings a lot, but that's aggressive. But hey, you know what? After the show we did Monday, I think we deserve a all sunshine and rainbows day today, because all the issues that they had, that, trust me, we went over with a fine-tooth comb. All of it kind of played out. They scored 10 runs and also had a no-hitter.
Yeah. Middle relief looked great yesterday.
Can't really do much better than that.
They should try to do that every single night. What do you
That
think?
should be the goal.
Score 10 runs and throw a no-hitter. I think that...
I love it.
Look, I know that it's hard for Joe Espada filling in for the great Dusty Baker. But this is the kind of standard that Espada needs to demand out of his players on a nightly basis. No hitters and 10 runs.
I have a question.
Yes.
And then it's the very Joe went through all the no-hitters that they've thrown since 2019. The Astros have thrown more no-hitters than any other team, like in that span by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that the Astros throw another no-hitter this season?
Yes. Because they always do it in twos.
It's an absurd thing to ask about a Major League Baseball team is the day after they throw a no-hitter, do you think they throw another? But with recent history, and Ronel Blanco threw the first one.
Yeah, I mean, they only threw one last year, but in 19 they threw two, 22 they threw two.
They've had 4 since June of 2022. The other 29 teams in baseball have a combined 3.
They're going to throw another one this year.
That is okay. Good. I was thinking that last night after the final out. Of course, I would never jinx something in my own brain.
We'll get to that.
But I was thinking like this is absurd. But I kind of think they'll throw a no hitter.
I wonder if
a combined at least
6 since 19. The team in second place. I don't even know who they are. They have 2.
Can you?
I like to think that it's a team that you like. You actually can see the team name, and you're like, I've never heard of this team. I've never heard of this Major League Baseball team.
What's the scandal that comes up that people try to say this is why the Astros are doing it? Because there are so many that you would think that all of the
I don't know.
the people that have the orange team bad syndrome, that some people are going to start looking for something, right?
Well, let's just go to Twitter and just type in Astros cheating.
Astros derangement syndrome, Astros paranoia. I mean, most of the anger last night on the internet was directed at Phil Maton, who hit 3 Rangers in a row last night, and he didn't get ejected, which is incredible. Now, part of it was because the Evan Carter throw that hit Carter in the foot. But then he hit Adolis Garcia, who almost had another temper tantrum. Oh, he's looking really big these days. Wonder what his workout regimen is. And then on top of that, he broke Josh Jung's wrist on a ball that Josh Jung swung at. And guess what? The Astros get the Rangers coming up soon. Phil Maton,
Astro for life. Put him in the Ring of Honor. Retire the number.
Once an Astro, always an Astro.
Yeah.
Unless you're Mike Fiers.
What number did you were like 80, right? Or no, 88.
88.
Yeah,
I think he's still wearing
88.
that. Retire 88. He's still officially Team Astros. Also, Adolis Garcia definitely taking steroids. 100%.
Well, here's the thing.
It looks like he's definitely.
He looks like he looks like Barry Bonds.
So
allegedly,
I looked this up for the live stream I did after the show last night, and there's a picture of Adolis Garcia with the St. Louis Cardinals where his neck is similarly massive Mayan pyramid-esque, where it's just there's no real point to it, you know?
You said he doesn't have a neck.
But that's been a thing for a bit. I don't know when it got big. I was looking through old Adolis Garcia pictures, and a lot of them he's wearing baggy uniforms. There's not one where he looks like a twig. It's not quite a Barry Bonds transformation. And believe me, I looked. I was on Google Images. I went through 3 pages looking for a before and after. Well, I wanted Joe, why are you laughing? I'm doing journalism. I'm doing journalism.
Of you sitting at home on page 3 of a Google Images search looking for skinny Adolis Garcia.
Yeah. What? I'm sorry. I'm a journalist.
You're a great journalist.
Big J Journo has to do the research, okay? Because there's a lot of people that are making the accusations, and I mean, there's the person who enjoys the Astros and doesn't like the Rangers, and also thinks Adolis Garcia is a psycho based off of the way that he handled that situation against the Astros. There is a part of me that would like maybe some things to come out, but I have to be honest and fair. And yeah, there's a picture of him with the St. Louis Cardinals where he also does not have a neck. It's just this big, massive square, and he looks kind of like a middle linebacker.
All right, we'll continue talking about the Astros no-hitter thrown by Ronel Blanco last night. 8th career start, 6th no-hitter since 2019 for the Stros. They went 10-0 against the Blue Jays. What a way to get your
Greatest
first win.
day of our lives.
Greatest day of our lives until today. 713-780-3776, the text line, the HRMP listener line as well, 5847. Astro social media is the craziest, most overreactionary group of people in the world, calling to fire Espada and wishing for Dusty back. Yeah, I agree with that. I would say Astros Twitter is the most overreactionary place on the planet.
Well, it's kind of hard to determine who is the actual most overreactive fan base in Houston sports because, as I've said before, this is a town largely of bandwagoners. It is. People like the team that's good or the teams that are good. And the people who have been there from day one perhaps have a idealized view of the team that they have been watching that finally turns the corner. And then the people that haven't been there every single day, they come in and they're like, ugh, whenever anything goes wrong. And it just is a powder keg for back and forth. But yeah, I think that every single baseball fan base after the first series of the year is going to react in the same way that we did yesterday. And rightfully so, especially if you lose 4 in a row. But this was a nice bounce back. The offense is capable of this on a regular basis. And if Ronel Blanco can continue that changeup, have it effective for whatever reason it was, I mean, no one adjusted to it over the course of the game. He went through the lineup 3 times. Then you got to feel pretty good about his participation in the starting rotation, and maybe it deserves to be a longer stint than just until everybody comes back.
Yeah, and we are, and that conversation is going to be probably pretty quick here. Justin Verlander threw 50, I think it was 53 pitches yesterday, did a couple up and downs in his bullpen session, and he didn't make any promises, as Julia pointed out last night on the broadcast, but it sounds like in the next 5 days, he's going to be in Sugar Land. And the Space Cowboys are in town till I think it's April 7th is their last home game before they hit the road for the first time for the next time this season.
But they're always at home on ESPN 92.5.
Fact. I wouldn't be shocked if on ESPN 92.5 you can see Justin Verlander pitch
here
in the next 5 days.
I'd be shocked if you could see him pitch.
I would be really shocked.
You could see him pitch in Sugar Land. You could hear him pitch here. That's what I mean.
Unless you have major news coming.
If you can see Justin Verlander pitching on ESPN 92.5, then, I mean, you may be on to something here.
I know
company.
that Gerald paints a beautiful picture.
You see with your brain.
Yeah.
Because he's just so talented. Him and Garrett just,
So true.
So true.
You can just, in your car, close your eyes, and it's like you're there at Constellation Field.
Yeah.
And then you're in the fender bender.
Yeah, you're in the worst traffic in Houston because you're listening to a Space Cowboys game.
Yeah, you're dealing with Rasheed Rice piling into you.
And running away in the middle of. We're going to get more into that.
Did you see what happened? He got out the passenger seat. He got out of the passenger seat.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah. Two people got out of the passenger seat.
So you don't technically know who is driving.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was his rental car.
I think he's setting up to have a fall guy. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, but 2 people got out of the passenger seat.
Hey. You don't know.
We got some spicy takes on the text line today.
What do we got?
Let's overreact here. Framber ends up as the 3rd starter by the end of the year. I mean, I don't think
who?
I don't
Ronel
think that's
Blanco and who else?
I don't think that's super spicy as long as you're not including Ronel Blanco in that because Verlander, Javier, Framber, you could see Framber being the worst of those 3.
Yeah.
Spicy would be saying right now that Ronel Blanco is the Houston Astros ace, even if it is statistically true based off of the first 5 starts of the rotation.
Show me who has better numbers.
Fact. I'm very much looking forward to the next Ronel Blanco start already because it's now the most anticipated game over the next week for me. Because I'm so curious that you pointed out 3 times through the order they never figured out the changeup. I'm always curious about in baseball, like now the book has been written a little bit. Just how does that next start look? Because they're going to be a little bit more prepared for the changeup.
You would think so. I don't know if you can call it a changeup, and I get that that's the technical definition for throwing a fastball that's slower than a fastball. But if that's your dominant pitch, doesn't it have to be called something else? This is an idiot asking a dumb question about baseball, but it can't be a changeup if that's your dominant pitch, right? Like, isn't it something else? Don't you have to give it a name? Can we call it like the gyro ball or something ridiculous?
That's already taken.
No,
unfortunately.
How about the slow ball?
The slow ball?
Yeah.
Is this what it was like to be on a Major League Baseball team in like 1910 when they're having to name all these.
They're like, what are we gonna call this one?
These are all the ideas that got shut down by Mordecai Brown.
Yeah, like this pitch is gonna go from 12 to 6, and we're gonna name it a curveball.
Listen, see, we're going to call it the prohibition ball.
That
We're going to
ball's
call
got
it
a wiggle to it.
Yeah, a lot less wiggle to this one. It's a lot like a girl not doing the Charleston. It's like a girl doing the old slow Victoria blues. My favorite dance move.
It's like, actually, let's just call it a slider.
Slider, because it slides.
I think that one
slides
works.
across the play. But the offense last night, I mean, Blanco, as incredible as he was, it was so refreshing to see that offense last night. Even with Bregman going 0 for 4, Alvarez doesn't get a hit in last night's game. Abreu gets his first hit of the season, so that's positive. He also made the 26th out look a lot more complicated than it needed to be.
That was a nice play, but the problem was early in the game there was a double play that could have happened, and it just bounces off of his glove, and then he strikes out the next at bat, and then he grounds out first pitch at bat, and you're like, oh my god. So he got his first hit, and you hope that changes everything going forward. There is definitely, for Jose Abreu, a lot more scrutiny just based off of the way he played last year. Deservedly so. So hopefully those two plays are a sign that the best is yet to come.
He did make a, like a Trey Mancini-esque, like, oh my God, how did he make that play?
After what he did the day before?
Yeah.
And then to make that play?
The 6 innings before.
Yeah.
The one that he did in the first inning.
This might be mean.
Do it.
I'm just prepared for Jose Abreu to now be the Martin Maldonado of this team. And to just be
that's a good take.
Absolutely trash
2023.
in the lineup.
He's the 24 Martin Maldonado.
Yeah, a really overpaid Martin Maldonado.
Who's the Yainer Diaz he's playing in front of? Because that's the next step.
Joey Loperfido?
At the AAA level, okay. Yeah?
It's not Singleton.
Victor Caratini. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not
Caratini
right now.
It's got to be someone under 25. So Loperfido?
Yeah,
that's ageist.
It'll have to be someone that.
Look at Ronel Blanco. Look what he did last night.
No, just to be the Yainer.
Yeah, to be the Yainer, you have to be young.
The idea that you're blocking a young.
I thought you're just blocking somebody who plays ball.
Yeah, so
baller's ball, regardless of age, Sean.
I think it's.
I know.
Yeah, he's
told me.
He's the Martin Maldonado of the Astros going forward, and he will be for the next 2 years until he's gone. He's not going to be good. He's just not. I'm
not ready to slam the book shut on it. He was bad for what?
7/8 of the season,
and then got good.
Yeah, for 1 month. Martin Maldonado also had hot streaks.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. His were like one game off.
He had a game where he would hit a home run.
I was texting one of my buddies who used to work here, Adam Sager. He used to produce for Salisbury too at the Flagship, and he's a White Sox fan, but covered Houston sports for a long time. And I was texting him last night, and I'm just like, can you when you watch him play, what do you see? Because trying to see if I was wrong, and you say he just looks like a dinosaur compared to what he looked like in Chicago. He looks nothing like the guy that played for the White Sox. So he's Martin Maldonado. It's my official stance.
Wow. Damn, dude.
Sorry. I mean, that's. I don't think it's too mean.
I don't believe. I don't think he's going to be the guy he was in Chicago, but I still think that he can be decent. Now, he might still be the whipping boy of Astros Twitter because there
definitely
needs to be
the whipping boy.
Yeah, and so maybe he doesn't play so well that he graduates out of that, where he's still the one everyone points at. But I mean, I don't think he'll be an absolute train wreck.
And he will be the number one target and ire amongst Astros Twitter and radio and everything because Jake Myers.
At least in the lineup.
Yeah, Jake Myers is going to have a more productive season than Jose Abreu this year at times. Not all the time. And so will Mauricio Dubon and Chas McCormick. Those issues will be more about playing time and the way Espada uses them. But Abreu, it's just, Junior Bronco said it here on the Twitch, he's just old. He looks old.
The Pilates maybe not working.
He might be more flexible. He might be less sore.
We need to do lifting weights in the pool.
He just can't catch a fastball.
Jazzercise?
Jazzercise? Jose Abreu Jazzercise? Maybe that should be the next HEB commercial.
Listen, we're just exploring options out here. But yeah.
Can Dubon play first? 3-2-6-0.
I saw a couple of texts that asked that. I mean, he is a super utility Gold Glover. So the assumption is yes.
I think he played like a game.
I think he played one game last year.
Why are first basemen always of like the same body type? I understand that generally a first baseman is left-handed, but I've never understood why they're always like larger. Do you need to be?
I think it's because generally you can't play anywhere else. But your bat is so good, you want to keep him in the lineup. But you're too slow to put in like left field.
That makes sense.
So it's like, hey,
and it could change now with the universal DH. Like you could see more athletic guys play first base at some point. But yeah, I would be very open to just trying it. Try Dubon at first.
I have a question, and this is just my ADD brain working, but the term whipping boy, which I think we all agree that Jose Abreu is, I looked up the history of this.
Oh God.
Well, I wanted to make sure it wasn't problematic.
It seems like it'll be
it just feels problematic.
Like when you really isolate it.
Guess what? It's not problematic.
There's no way it's not.
I swear, it's not problematic. I mean, what was done was problematic, but this isn't problematic.
Are you sure it's not?
Yes. Let me tell you. A whipping boy was a boy educated alongside a prince in early modern Europe. Since you can't punish the prince, this boy would receive corporal punishment whenever the prince did something bad. Now, obviously, you don't do this anymore.
That's terrible. That's like if Sean messed up, I would yell at the intern.
Yeah.
Can we get that? Can we get that going?
Because I'm a yeller at you, Sean.
Program.
Yeah.
I just look. I thought I heard whipping boy, and I thought something else. And this is just European.
I think that's problematic. Still,
it is problematic, but at least it didn't, originate in like 1790 in Georgia.
Yes,
good point.
Because that's what I thought it was going to.
Yeah. 6856. So you guys not going to mention Alvarez batting 100? No, because I don't care.
You feel good that he's going to figure it out. Where with Abreu, you don't. And yeah, it's because of everything we know about Jordan. Jordan on Sunday was very close to having an incredible day at the plate.
Yes.
Obviously, he's off to a slow start.
He's one of the 3 best hitters in baseball.
I'm happy he's healthy. That's sort of where I'm at with Alvarez. He's going to figure it out eventually. We're only talking about a 5-game sample size. With Jose Abreu, it's a little bit different because of last year. If you can say that, hey, we're being unfair in singling out Abreu versus Alvarez, but doesn't everybody expect Alvarez to be fine within the next couple of weeks? Yes.
Jose Abreu hasn't even made close to the contact that Jordan Alvarez has. Has Jose Abreu sent one to the warning tracks yet? I don't think so. I do not think Jose Abreu has hit a baseball 380 feet this season. Jordan Alvarez has multiple of those. They just happen to be outs. The home runs, the at-bat, the average, all that stuff, it's going to come. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. So, no, I'm not worried, or I don't even think it's really worth the mention. It's him and Alex Bregman are going to figure it out. All right.
I think it's worth the mention, but I'm not panicking.
Sure.